Here's the math problem most first-time buyers are trying to solve. Rent takes 40% of their take-home pay. Groceries, utilities, and transportation take another 30. Student loan payments take another 10. What's left is somewhere between nothing and not enough to meaningfully save toward a down payment on a home that keeps getting more expensive while they're trying to reach it. This isn't a discipline problem. It isn't a spending problem. It's a math problem. And math problems have solutions, even ugly ones. Here are the strategies that actually move the number when your budget feels like it has no room to move. Before we talk about how to save, we need to talk about what you're actually saving toward, because a lot of people are working toward a number that's larger than it needs to be. If you're targeting 20%, we covered in a previous video why that may not be the right target. But even beyond the down payment percentage, the total savings target most first-time buyers are working toward includes 3 separate buckets that often get conflated into one intimidating number. Bucket 1 is the down payment itself. For FHA, this is 3.5%. For conventional home ready or home possible, it's 3%. For USDA or VA, it's 0. For a $280,000 home, the down payment range is $0 to $9,800 depending on your loan product. Bucket 2 is closing costs. Typically 2 to 5% of the loan amount, though negotiable through seller concessions and lender comparisons. On a $280,000 loan, budget $5,600 to $14,000. Bucket 3 is reserves. 3 to 6 months of housing expenses kept liquid after closing. Now here's the reframe. If you qualify for a state assistance program that covers your down payment, Bucket 1 may be partially or fully provided for you. If you negotiate seller concessions, Bucket 2 shrinks. The target you've been saving toward may be significantly smaller than you think when you factor in every available resource. Start by finding out your actual target with all assistance considered before you calculate how long it will take you to get there. With the real target established, here are the strategies that produce meaningful down payment savings on a constrained budget. The dedicated account strategy. Open a high-yield savings account specifically for your down payment and name it. Not your emergency fund, not your general savings, a dedicated down payment account. Automate a transfer into it on payday before you see the money in your checking account. The amount doesn't matter as much as the consistency. Even $200 a month into a high-yield account earning 4 to 5% produces $12,500 in 4 years plus interest. That's a meaningful contribution to a down payment on a home in most of the markets we've discussed on this channel. The rent renegotiation strategy. If you've been a reliable tenant for more than a year, your landlord has a financial incentive to keep you. Finding and screening a new tenant costs landlords 1 to 2 months of rent in time and vacancy. Use this leverage. Ask for a rent reduction or a lease renewal at the same rate in exchange for a longer commitment. A $100 a month reduction is $1,200 a year toward your down payment fund without changing any other behavior. The income addition strategy. This isn't about working yourself into the ground. It's about identifying one specific income stream that goes entirely to the down payment fund. A weekend shift, a freelance project, a skill monetized on a platform, a possession sold. The psychological power of a dedicated income stream is that it doesn't compete with your existing budget. It adds to it. Even $300 a month from a side activity is $3,600 a year in the down payment fund. The expense audit strategy. A genuine line-by-line review of every recurring subscription and service charge, done once, thoroughly, and with real cuts made rather than considered, typically finds $100 to $300 a month in charges that no longer match how you actually spend your time. This isn't telling you to stop buying coffee. It's telling you that most people are paying for things they forgot they signed up for. The windfall strategy. Tax refunds, work bonuses, birthday money, any non-regular income that hits your checking account goes directly to the down payment fund before it gets absorbed into regular spending. The behavioral trick here is moving the money the same day it arrives. Money that sits in checking gets spent. Money that moves immediately gets saved. Saving faster is one solution. Needing to save less is another. Here are the programs that reduce the total amount required. Down payment assistance programs, which we've covered in depth in a previous video, can provide anywhere from $5,000 to $35,000 in grant or deferred loan assistance toward your down payment and closing costs. If you haven't already watched that video and run your eligibility against your state's specific programs, do that before you spend another month saving toward a target that assistance could dramatically reduce. The Match Savings Program, sometimes called an Individual Development Account, or IDA, is offered by many nonprofit housing organizations and some state agencies. If you save a specified amount each month and the program matches it, sometimes at 2-to-1 or 3-to-1 ratios, if you save $3,000, the program adds $6,000 or $9,000. These programs have income limits and waiting lists in some areas, but are genuinely worth searching for. NeighborWorks and your state's HFA are the best starting points for finding them. Family gift funds. Under FHA, conventional, and most other loan programs, down payment funds can come from a gift from a family member with no repayment required. If you have a family member willing and able to contribute toward your down payment, this is a legitimate and widely used path. The lender will require a gift letter confirming the funds aren't a loan, and the donor will need to provide documentation of the source. And it's not complicated, but it does have specific requirements that vary by loan product. Employer assistance programs. A growing number of employers, particularly in healthcare, education, and government, offer homebuyer assistance as an employee benefit, and this is almost never advertised prominently. Ask your HR department specifically whether any home buying assistance, down payment grants, or preferred lender arrangements exist as part of your benefits package. The answer will surprise some of you. Here's how to turn everything above into a specific timeline rather than a vague goal. Step 1. Identify your real savings target after assistance programs are factored in. Step 2. Calculate your current monthly savings capacity using the strategies above, including the dedicated account, any side income, windfall commitments, and expense reductions. Step 3. Divide the target by the monthly savings amount. That's your baseline timeline in months. Step 4. Identify any windfalls expected in that period. Tax refunds, bonuses, financial gifts. Add those to the calculation and watch the timeline shrink. Step 5. Set a specific date, not in a few years, a month and a year. Write it down somewhere visible. The specificity of a date changes the relationship between your daily financial decisions and the goal, and it becomes a countdown rather than a horizon. If the timeline is longer than you want, 2 levers are available. Reduce the target through assistance programs and seller concessions. Increase the monthly savings rate through side income or expense reduction. Both levers work. Most people who feel stuck are pulling neither of them. Saving for a down payment on a budget that feels fully committed is genuinely hard. It's not a character test, and it's not evidence that homeownership isn't for you. It's a math problem. And like all math problems, it responds to the right inputs. If your actual target is probably smaller than you think, the programs available to you probably cover more than you've been told. The timeline, when you run it with all the variables accounted for, is probably shorter than the open-ended feeling of someday has led you to believe. Run the numbers. Set the date. Start the account. The difference between first-time buyers who get there and first-time buyers who are still planning to get there is almost always the decision to make it specific. The math problem has a solution, like this if we helped you find it. Subscribe for 3 videos a week, all of them built around the information that first-time buyers deserve to have before they need it.